In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. We're learning more about immigration enforcement operations that took place across Hays County Thursday. They centered around the cities of Kyle and Buda. Hays County leaders tell KVUE at least one person was injured while they were being arrested by federal agents. Residents posted video and photos to a website that advocacy groups have used to track immigration enforcement online called ICE Out. They show federal authorities detaining people. You can also see an ambulance in the video. Kyle police say federal authorities called for one after a person was hurt while being detained by federal agents. Their injuries were severe enough that first responders did take that person to the hospital under the escort of federal agents. Kyle Police, Buda Police, and the Hays County Sheriff's Office all say that they were no part of this operation. Local advocacy group Mano Amiga says that after the ICE operations, there is a lot of fear in the community.
And it's not just the immigrant families, that's all families. All community members are afraid and fearful. Everyone is scared. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. And just like the incident that happened in Minnesota, we don't know who's safe, documented or undocumented.
Hays County Judge Ruben Becerra was asked if ICE was welcome in his county. He says that he wants peace to follow the Constitution, but what ICE is doing isn't useful for peace. He also pointed to a resolution the county passed in June urging police to humanely treat immigrants who are not here legally. He says if ICE can't follow that, then they should not be here and that those agents should not wear badges. We reached out to ICE to ask them about their operations in Hays County. A spokesperson for the agency said they were looking into it, but we have not heard back. Meanwhile, in Austin, city leaders say they want clarification about how Austin police officers interact with ICE. On January 5th, APD says officers responded to a 911 call about a disturbance in Southwest Austin. And one person they talked to at that location had an administrative warrant that had been issued by ICE. APD says officers did not ask that person for their legal status, but notified ICE about the warrant. Advocates with grassroots leadership say that led to a 5-year-old girl and her mother being deported to Honduras. Under current APD policy, officers are required by law to comply with immigration detainer requests, but there's no guidance about addressing administrative warrants. So council members say there needs to be clarity.
They're not arrest warrants that are signed by a judge that give us a power to actually arrest and detain someone. They're administrative documents internal to ICE. So when the federal government started putting all those in the database, it's caused a lot of confusion as to what are these documents, what are our obligations under them, what are we supposed to do.
In a memo sent to council members, APD Chief Lisa Davis said the department is looking at its general orders and will update its policy. The Austin Public Library's used bookstore called Recycled Reads is closing its doors this week. The move comes as the city works to address a multi-million-dollar budget shortfall. As the storefront closed, the officials say that the city will shift to a new citywide model. Brianna Perez shares what's next for the program and what you can expect.
There's some mourning, I suppose, because they've built memories in here.
Empty shelves and heavy hearts. A beloved Austin bookstore is turning its final page this week. Since 2009, the Recycled Reads bookstore has sat on Burnett Road, keeping books out of landfills and giving them a second life.
Many of them have expressed growing up and having their parent bring them here, and now they're adults and they had partaken of the treasures found here to take teachers to their classrooms, parents to their own kids.
As the city works to close a multi-million-dollar budget gap, and with the store's costs now outweighing its revenue, library leaders say they plan to pivot once the lease is up in March.
With the upcoming end of the lease on this space, we use it as an opportunity to reimagine the program as a system-wide program to give people throughout Austin an opportunity to access materials.
Shelves that were once full are now starting to look bare as they get ready to transition to their new citywide model. But library leaders say not to worry. Inventory will soon be distributed to other city libraries and ready for purchase come February.
Depending on size, each Recycle Read section will look different at each public library, but officials hope it will essentially expand access. Still, library leaders say the connections and memories built here will be hard to say goodbye to.
We had lots of finds, lots of unique stuff that would come. People started to build friendships or know each other. And that's what this space brought, and that is something that will be greatly missed.
As a send-off, Recycle Reads invites the community to a farewell celebration staff are holding Saturday. In Austin, Brianna Bettis, KVUE News.
A school district temporarily closed because there are so many kids out sick with the flu. Bartlett ISD covers part of northern Williamson County. The district announced there wouldn't be class Thursday or Friday because of increased flu and other illness reports across the district. During that time, deep cleaning will be done on campuses. District officials say this will also give students and staff time to recover. The school district is closed on Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, so kids go back to school on Tuesday. The CDC estimates there have been at least 15 million flu cases nationwide this season, and more than 7,000 people have died from the flu. If you haven't gotten a flu shot yet, a doctor we spoke with earlier this week said it's not too late.
Yeah, I think we had a massive bump around the holidays, but we're not out of the woods yet. And generally, flu cases can continue to rise and ebb and flow until the end of March. Think about it, though. If you're getting a flu vaccine, it takes about 2 weeks for it to be effective.
According to the CDC, seasonal flu activity remains elevated across the country. That trend is expected to continue for several more weeks. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.